Brightside, the 9-time Group 1 winner from Australia here this afternoon on the firm deck for Team Hayes.
Absolutely, Tom. Yeah, look, wonderful to have Mr. Brightside here. It's been sort of mentioned in dispatches down through the seasons that he might come for certain races, Paul. That hasn't happened, but he's here today. His track work's looked good. There's plenty supporting him. And it's great to have him here.
It is very good to have him here, and he's drawn well, so he's going to get his opportunity in this race. Now, he's at 6.5 versus Voyage Bubble at 1.4. All the money's come for Voyage Bubble. I thought that'd be a lot closer in the market. My wish, obviously, the other one who's drawn 1 had no luck in the Derby. He's probably the best run out of the Derby, and he's in there at 6.9, but all the money's for Voyage Bubble. I
know it's hard to pull the threads together. Obviously, we've got Voyage Bubble's local form and Mr. Brightside, of course, in Australia. Do you think the discrepancy is too big between the pair?
That looks that way. I mean, he's such a good horse, Mr. Brightside. He's a multiple Group 1 winner, and he's in for the scrap. He always tries hard. He's not fashionably bred, but he just really tries, and he wants to win.
Yeah, for sure. And he's joined by Royal Patronage, of course, from Australia as well, who's got such an international CV.
Yeah, hasn't he? And look, he looks the pacemaker for me. I think they'll go to the forward and try and win that.
Okay, well, Tom, we'll come back to you, Nick and Jenny, down in the parade, but a fascinating race upcoming here for the mile.
Thanks, guys. What about the gear changes, Nick, this afternoon on Galaxy Patch? Cheek pieces, tongue ties. Zach Purton's been calling for the blinkers, but they've gone with something a little different.
Purton's second time. I quite like that angle. I think he's a horse that could pick up some pieces here. Nick and Paul talking about the pace in the race. I thought the pace was likely to be pretty honest. I think there's quite a few that'll drive forward, not just Royal Patronage. I mean, Mr. B's not going to be too far off the pace. And I think they could make it a pretty honest gallop here. That's going to suit Galaxy Patch. I wouldn't be surprised if the race just peeled apart and he came through late, Jenny.
And, well, yes, I tend to agree with you there, but my wish, what do you make of him? I mean, his run in the Derby was enormous.
He's talented, isn't he? Of course, young, improving. There could be quite a lot more to come.
Let's start with Chang Cheng Glory. Now, of course, he's been pretty consistent, whether the Group 1 sort of elite level is just beyond him, Jenny, but he normally fronts up and runs a race, and he's got Joe Moreira this afternoon.
Yep, and he generally fronts up looking pretty good, this horse. He's always had a lovely demeanour about him, very quiet, relaxed, athletic type of horse. He looks in great health, and he just continues to walk out nice and relaxed. He never puts on weight, so he's always, he might appear on screen to be maybe a little on the thinner side, but he's not. That's just his shape. That's his conformation. So once again, he presents well.
Well, here it is, Voyage Bubble, stepping out of the shadows of Golden 60 and Romantic Warrior as the currently most decorated horse that is running on this card. Hong Kong Mile winner in December. 10 wins now, including 4 Group 1s. He's thoroughly admirable, consistent. He'll just keep doing more, I think, Tom.
Yes. Well, look, he looks fantastic. He really does. He's such a lovely, sort of long-bodied horse, but he also has the strength to go with it. And, of course, he's our Derby winner from a few years ago as well. His coat is very fine at the moment, but it's healthy enough. He walks out beautifully, and his demeanour's fantastic as well. So he does look very well. I think he'll be very hard to beat.
How's Beauty Eternal parading, Jenny? Of course, he won this race last year, but he got plenty of favours off the front as well, and the track conditions too.
Exactly. It was yielding, and that really did suit him. And since then, he hasn't been able to place, so he's been a bit disappointing on that front. Look, he can front up every now and again, but we haven't seen it for quite some time. He's very strong. He's well behaved. He looks healthy. Decent hindquarters on him. He certainly gets a pass. There is nothing wrong with him. He just needs to pick his game up.
Well, this is Beauty Joy. Wherever Beauty Eternal goes, Beauty Joy follows. But it could be, given the form they're in at the moment, that Beauty Joy gets one over his near owner mate today. Good, solid, really hard-knocking, consistent horse, but he's probably not up to winning one of these nowadays.
I don't think so. I tend to agree. Gate, he's an 8-year-old now, so he's getting on a bit. Mind you, he's picked up a huge amount of prize money along the way. $34 million he's got. So he's been very good to his connections, that's for sure. Now, he never carries any excess condition. He's beautifully behaved in the parade. He can be a bit of a difficult ride on occasions. He's a bit better as he's got older. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. He's walking out freely. He looks good for him.
Wow. Mr. Brightside looks
good, doesn't he?
In serious, Nick. in serious nick.
How's he parading, Jenny? The 9-time Group 1 winner for Team Hayes.
Yep, well, I've yet to lay eyes on Mr. Brightside, and I'm very excited to see him in the flesh for the very first time as well. So he's about to make his way down to me right now. Beautifully behaved, walking out nice and freely, strong-chested, healthy. He's about your average height or a little bit higher than that. And he's got some good substance about him, very strong and relaxed and enjoying a stroll around here. So he's in good nick.
And here's Galaxy Patchels we were talking about a few moments ago. If Mr. Brightside gets out and he and Royal Patronage start to cut this race open, that's going to be to the benefit of Galaxy Patch, who gets Zach Purton for the second time. I do think those cheek pieces are going to make a difference, and you can see they're already having the desired effect. They've got to have that effect on the track rather than in the paddock.
Yeah, no, this is a bit of a normal thing for this guy. He gets a little excited in the parade. He can be quite naughty. So this is normal. Hopefully they'll get him out nice and early so he doesn't get too hot and flustered. He thins out a bit towards the flank area there, but he's always been a very angular type of horse anyway, so he's not a standout type. But he's talented. He's just got to put it all together, and he's had so many excuses in his races. I think he looks well by his standards. If they keep him nice and calm, I'll consider putting him into the top 4.
Royal Patronage, Jenny, the likely leader in the race, ran a bottler in the Doncaster, considering he was 3 wide, no cover up on the pace.
Yeah, Royal Patronage, exactly. He's got a very good record, so I don't want to dismiss him too lightly. He is your average height. He's very strong. He's beautifully behaved. He's very quiet and relaxed here in the parade with his 2 handlers, and he does walk out nice and cleanly. Carries a little bit of weight around the midsection, but that's probably normal for him. I think I like his attitude, very good attitude, and he's a strong enough horse, so I'll leave him there with the place chance.
Here's the Japanese contender, Gaia Force, almost white-grey. Quite a striking horse who I think probably needs there to be the sort of pace that he'd be used to in Japan. I'd say this would be a bare minimum for him, Jenny.
Yes, and he has been on his toes pretty much right throughout this parade so far that I've seen. He's got a couple of handlers on him, but he's... let me just get a better look at him here. He is... very, very fit, that's for sure, and he's just settled down now, which is a positive sign. So I think he presents quite well. He's a really fit-looking horse, so that might hold him in good stead.
Happy together, Jenny. Another one that runs his race without being sort of two amongst them at elite level, and also Red Lion, who ran a placing in this race last year behind Beauty Eternal. So 9 and 10, please.
Yeah, look, I'll need to get to them because, as you can imagine, there is a lot of people in the parade here. So just with the 9, happy together. He is a very strong-bodied horse. He's sensible here in the parade. Beautiful, healthy coat, really strong shoulder, bandaged on his bumpers. He looks good. He looks very well, and he's an honest type, but it's a tough assignment. And Red Lion bandaged on his hind legs, which is quite often the case. He lacks a bit of scope, but he has got good strength. His attitude's not too bad at all, and walking out okay. So he's well without being exceptional.
A lovely horse, this Gomon. Goes everywhere, mainly in the Middle East nowadays. Trained in Bahrain, probably ran his career best in the 13:51, which is just shy of 1,400 metres. This mile maybe just stretch him today if it's well run, but he's a really consistent, very likeable horse.
Yeah, look, he's not a smooth walking horse, though, in front, so he needs a bit of loosening up in that area. He is well enough behaved, and he's only small, but he's neat enough, and he does look quite fit. So he just requires a loosen up. He's not smooth in front.
My wish, Jenny, so close in the derby from an awkward barrier draw, and barrier number 1 definitely gives them options to play with here this afternoon.
Certainly does. He's so relaxed here in the parade, and he never carries much excess condition, this horse, but he's a very talented racehorse. He doesn't have a huge amount of strength in those hind quarters. This is how he's been all along, and he's been performing, so that's just his confirmation. I like his fluency and his attitude, so he's good.
Sunlight Power we've just seen on screen. He's a big price, Sid, and he definitely has a lot to find on his rating.
Sunlight Power definitely does, yeah. It's going to be tough for him, and I would have preferred a wet track for him to show us his very best. He's not going to get that here today. To look at, he's under control with his 2 handlers, albeit on his toes, and starting to get a little bit fractious now, so he's just feeling the all the what's going on around him here in the parade, a lot of noise and a lot of people. But he is a nice horse. He's a very nice horse. He's very strong. He's healthy.
And to Gaumont for the Bahrainians, Judge Best presented here in the yard. Let's head over to Nick Child, who's standing by with the co-trainer of Royal Patronage this afternoon. It's Adrian Bott.
Yes, thank you very much, Tom. Great to see Adrian Bott here, of course, one half of the training team that have prepared Royal Patronage here this afternoon for the mile. Adrian, great to have you here, of course, representing both yourself and Gay Waterhouse. Great to be here, I'm sure.
Yeah, fantastic. It's been a great build-up throughout the week. The owners have thoroughly enjoyed the experience and amazing atmosphere, so great to be a part of it all.
I'm sure it is. Obviously, it's a great race, this Champions Day, the Champions Mile. It's a strong one this year. Voyage Bubble, Mr. Brightside, who I'm sure you're fully up to speed with on form, and every other horse that runs in the race. But your horse, tell us a bit more, because he's just walked behind us. He is very decent.
Look, he's handled himself very well here today, which is encouraging, but his lead-up form coming from Australia, Group 1 winner at Weight for Age, competitive at the top level there. Through the right race, I think he'd bring the right form. He was a bit unlucky there at his last start over the mile in the Doncaster handicap. So, he's got the profile that I think suits very well here. He's got tactical speed. Race that may look to lack a little bit of pace, we can use that to our advantage. So, certainly look to be prominent in the run, but Tim's got a couple of nice options from that draw. So, profile's up well for us.
And he is really the epitome now of the international horse, isn't he? 'Cause he's got so many stamps in his passport, of course. Started off back in Great Britain, and obviously a Group 1 winner in America, a Group 1 winner now in Australia. You'd love to have Hong Kong on that CV as well.
Yeah, really would. I think they'll just sort of top it off nicely for him. I guess a bit of a sign how the industry is sort of going in terms of sort of the global racing and the competitiveness there. So hopefully he's here to represent us well.
I believe Mrs. Waterhouse has shunned this trip for Hawaii or Kentucky or somewhere, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's over there for the Kentucky Derby this year. Unfortunately, she had the prior commitments there, but no doubt she'd love to be here on an occasion. But as I said, I'm sure this won't be the last runner that we bring up, so there'll be another opportunity for her to come up.
Wonderful to have you and your horse here and all.
In Australia, of course, he did have one start in New Zealand before joining the Hayes team. And Galaxy Patch, just see what he can do here. He beat Voyage Bubble first run this season. Since then, it's 4-1 to Voyage Bubble. 2-12, 1 and 6 Paul for the Champions Mile.
Yeah, same four numbers in that order as well. See it the same way. Voyage Bubble, Barrier 10. Look, the horse is versatile. He went back in the Derby and still won. I think he got shuffled back last start and still ran on and won. So he's coming. He's just gone to another level this season. So he's on top. The 12, My Wish, was the run of the Derby. The 1, Mr. Brightside, Hope of Australia here as well. And he's such a scrapper, this one. And then the 6, Galaxy Patch running on. 2-12, 1-6 for me as well, Tom. How do you see it?
Voyage Bubble on top for Paul to beat 12, My Wish. I think he's going to run a huge race here this afternoon, My Wish, with that agonisingly close second in the Derby. Mr. Brightside makes it in as well, number 1. I just worry about the firmer nature of the surface here this afternoon. And the 6, Galaxy Patch, with those gear changes as well. 2, 12, 1 and 6. A recap of Nick Child's numbers. They are 2, 1, 12 and 6 also. And Jenny, a recap from the paddock, please.
Yeah, look, I've gone with the 2, the favourite. I had to put him on top, Voyage Bubble. He's a beautiful horse. He goes well here at Sha Tin, as we know. And he's got a fantastic record. He looks outstanding once again. His coat wasn't brilliant last time. It's still not 100%, but it's certainly good enough. The 1 horse goes in, Mr. Brightside. He looks strong. He was really relaxed here in the parade. He handled his parade very, very well. Next best was the 9, Happy Together. So he goes in on looks. Whether or not he's good enough here, I have my doubts, but he certainly looked strong and well, behaved well. And then Galaxy Patch didn't misbehave as badly as I have seen him in the past. He's as fit as he could possibly be. He's not a standout type, never will be, but he looks healthy in his coat, and he does look extremely fit going into this. So 2, 1, 9 and 6.
How did you see the Champions Mile this afternoon, Nick?
Well, I reckon I've got all the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order. I've got Galaxy Patch on top. I think the race will be run to suit. I think Purton has been eyeing up this horse for a little while. It's second time on. I like that angle. I can't have this horse out of the frame. He's clearly got to be there, Voyage Bubble. He's so talented, so consistent, probably one of the most underrated horses in the world. He can regularly knock in high 120s figures. So unless he gets terrible misfortune, he's going to be involved. Mr. Brightside's going to run huge. And My Wish is the up-and-comer. I'm sure they're the 4 horses to be concentrating on, but in what order, as I said, I'm not sure. I went with Galaxy Patch at the odds.
Paul, the money's coming for Mr. Brightside now on the place line. Of course, we're operating under the World Pool banner here this afternoon. Where's the late money going and what's the play for this?
Yeah, it is around him. He's into 1.5 a place now on the place line, and he has been backed with a few at the big odds. Chang Cheng Glory and Happy Together in particular through the Quinellas. Look, he's in the play along with Voyage Bubble and My Wish. I think we all have the top three of these three horses. So 1, 2, 12. Is the play. Looking through other ones, My Wish is starting to come for Quinella places. Now with him, it's particularly at the 3, Gaia Force, who's the Japanese at a big price. He's over 90 to 1, the Japanese. And Beauty Joy is at a big price at 65. And Beauty Eternal, he's at 90 odd to 1 last year's winner.
Yeah, Beauty Eternal last year's winner, who went off at 11 to 1 when defeating Red Lion in this race. Do you envisage them today, Jenny, with the draw of barrier number 2 for Mr. Brightside, just riding him that little bit quieter this time round?
Well, Craig knows him very well. I think he'll sum it up as soon as he jumps, see how he jumps and then go from there. He has been a versatile horse. He does tend to like to race, in the top 5 or 6 horses. Depends what the pace is. Craig's such a good jockey. He's going to work it out.
Indeed he will. And outside of him, Paul, the other overseas contenders, the likes of Royal Patronage, Gaumont, they've just got a little bit to find on their ratings, certainly, don't they?
Yeah, that's how it looks, actually. With those horses, they do have to find a little bit. Royal Patronage, I think, will probably lead the race. He does like to go forward this horse, so he'll try and stack them up. Happy Together led last time, but it was okay for him. I think he's going to be a lot more forward. And, of course, My Wish, who had to go back in the Derby, he's going to be a lot closer. Well, I mean, he's led to 1,200-metre races in the past, My Wish.
Gaia Force, he's sort of a horse that sits sort of beyond midfield, Jenny, and he's coming off some interesting prep runs on the dirt over in Japan at Tokyo and also with Chukyo. He's got form behind Songline, Snellmeister, Russian Park, Equinox, but he's just a little bit below that elite Group 1 tier, isn't he?
Yeah, look, in the Usuda Kinnan, though, he stuck on okay behind Romantic Warrior, and then he came out and he was 5 wide, no cover at his next start. So he had a legitimate excuse in the Champions Cup, and then the February Stakes, he kept going okay towards the line. It wasn't a hopeless run. Looking at him, well, you're not going to miss him in the run because he's almost white, but he looked really fit, so that might hold him in good stead.
And he's likely to sort of be in the run. Gaia Force, Paul, potentially caught 3 wide unless they can slot in somewhere.
Yeah, he went forward last time, and he might just be looking for that cover or try and slot in midfield. Chang Cheng Glory is another one that might be a little bit closer. He's quite a versatile horse these days, but I think he'll be looking for some cover as well. And Voyage Bubble will be back towards the rear, I think. And Galaxy Patch races best when he goes back.
1.64 of Voyage Bubble. Now, what did you think, Paul, of the track conditions this afternoon for Mr. Brightside? Because the comments that I've been reading in the media have said they would like give is very important to them, and obviously there's been a bit of rain about Friday, minuscule amounts over the last couple of days. Track conditions for Mr. Brightside?
Look, he's won 8 times on soft to heavy, so look, he's probably the horse that would have liked it the most. But in saying that, he's won 11 times on a good track with 10 seconds from his 31 goes. So statistics say that he should be okay on it, but they'd probably prefer he would benefit more from rain than a lot of the other horses.
He might have just come off the All-Star Mile, maybe a little bit jarry last time out, Jenny, Mr. Brightside. But let's not forget he was a nose, and a very small nose, second to Romantic Warrior in a Cox Plate.
Yeah, and he's a 9-time Group 1 winner, so he is a quality animal. There's no doubt about that. They've had so much fun with him. Over $89 million he has won, Mr. Brightside. Let's hope he can do Australia proud here.
Yep, certainly. Of course, 7-year-old by Bull Bars out of a Tavistock mare, and there's a big ownership contingent in with him here this afternoon. Last look at the market, Paul, as the gates are filling for the Champions Mile.
1.6 Voyage Bubble, 5.3 Mr. Brightside, 6.4 My Wish, and 9.1 Galaxy Patch are the 4 horses that are in single figures here.
And you're betting through the World Pool this afternoon. He's at 1.6 here as Voyage Bubble. He ran 3rd in this race last year. He won the City Hong Kong Gold Cup. He's won the Stewards Cup twice. He's won the International Mile here in December. He's looking to sweep the mile ranks here of our premier mile events here in Hong Kong with a win mark in the Champions Mile this afternoon. Voyage Bubble at 1.6.
Want to place, Tom? My Wish is yet to come forward. Sunlight Power still out behind the line. We wait for just those two to get set at the 1,600 metres. Place money for Mr. Brightside. He's 1.5. Backed on a win line. Gaya Force goes green. He's into 44. Galaxy Patch now 7.2. Purton looking for 4 including 2. Group 1 so far. Racing in the Champions Mile, and Red Line and Voyage Bubble from wide gates both begin fast. On the inside is My Wish of Mr. Brightside, and then came Royal Patronage quickly spearing through the centre. The grey Gaya Force wide from the fellow grey Gomon. He's one off the fence. From on the inside, Beauty Eternal, and then came Happy Together. Next is Sunlight Power from Cheng Cheng Glory, Beauty Joy, and Galaxy Patch has gone back to last. Red Lion is the leader in the Classic Mile. He leads by a length and a half. Champions Mile, it's Red Line leading over Voyage Bubble on the outside, and third is My Wish. Fourth is Royal Patronage from Gaya Force, and then came Beauty Eternal against the rail. A length away next is Mr. Brightside from Gomon 3 wide. Against the rail is Sunlight Power, and then came Happy Together. Next is Beauty Joy. He's racing down on the inside. And Cheng Cheng Glory and Galaxy Patch are the last two. Red Lion leads the way. 600 metres to go. 3/4 on the favourite Voyage Bubble. 3 wide Gaya Force. My Wish has had a terrific run fourth on the rail. Then came Royal Patronage. Gomon next from Beauty Eternal. Red Lion leads for home. Voyage Bubble's right there on his outside. 2 lengths to Little My Wish, and then came Gaya Force. Voyage Bubble and Red Lion square off for the moment. 2 lengths to My Wish. Then came Galaxy Patch. There's no Mr. Brightside. Red Lion's going the race of his life. Voyage Bubble, My Wish. Red Lion kicking over Voyage Bubble. Sunlight Power screaming home. Red Lion, Voyage Bubble. What a finish. It's close to a dead heat in the Champions Mile. Voyage Bubble and Red Lion, who's gone the race of his life. Sunlight Power third, then My Wish, Galaxy Patch. Followed in by Cheng Cheng Glory, Beauty Joy. Next in Happy Together, Gomon, Royal Patronage, Gaya Force, Beauty Eternal and Mr. Brightside. Who wins it? Voyage, it's going to be Red Lion. It's Red Lion, number 10. It's Hugh Bowman at 90 and 11. Over Voyage Bubble at 1 a place. And Sunlight Power, number 13 at 9.1. It's not official, but on the shutter cam, Bowman's lifted Red Lion. Well, we had a massive upset last year when Beauty Eternal rolled Golden 60 and co, including Voyage Bubble. Let's see it again. It's Red Lion. It's still not official. 13 and 12 have run third and fourth. He just would not surrender. The judge still looking at the photo. You'll hear the roar when they finally announce it. It's the 10. Red Lion's got it. Here's Nick.
Yes, thank you very much, Mark. Yeah, Hugh Bowman didn't quite believe it, but I've seen the number in the frame. Hughie, well done.
Thank you, Nick. He's, I've got to say, I mean, I didn't really expect to win, but the fact that he has is no surprise. He ran second in the race last year, and I've ridden him a lot, and I know him very well, and I'm so proud of him. And congratulations to John and to the ownership group, because he's such a consistent horse, and you know, he's worthy Group 1 winner, but I'm a bit lost for words, to be honest.
You see him as if you are. You mentioned the ownership group, of course. This horse part owned by the Right Honourable Ronnie R. Cully as well, so what a result, really.
Look, it's fantastic, as I've said, and look, he's a very consistent, courageous horse, and you know, having had the opportunity to ride him a few times, I had the confidence. I didn't really expect to lead, but full credit to John and his stable, because they've turned him out in fantastic order, and a little bit of moisture in the ground has certainly assisted his chances, and I'm just so proud of him.
Absolutely. Well, he's been more known as a 1400 metre horse, but a big mile win today. Hughie, she's apples, all right?
She's apples.
The gasp of shock and disbelief around Sha Tin. There's an inquiry. Stand by, hold tickets. 10, 2, 13 and 12, a 90 to 1 winner.
Mile and Redline and Voyage Bubble from wide gates both begin fast. On the inside is My Wish of Mr. Brightside, and then came Royal Patronage quickly spearing through the centre. The Grey Gaya Force wide from the fellow Grey Gomon. He's one off the fence from on the inside Beauty Eternal, and then came Happy Together. Next is Sunlight Power from Cheng Cheng Glory, Beauty Joy, and Galaxy Patch has gone back to last. Red Lion is the leader in the Classic Mile. He leads by a length and a half. Champions Mile, it's Red Lion leading over Voyage Bubble on the outside, and third is My Wish. Fourth is Royal Patronage from Gaia Force, and then came Beauty Eternal against the rail. A length away next is Mr. Brightside from Gomon 3 wide. Against the rail is Sunlight Power, and then came Happy Together. Next is Beauty Joy. He's racing down on the inside. And Cheng Cheng Glory and Galaxy Patch are the last two. Red Lion leads the way. 600 metres to go. 3/4 on the favourite Voyage Bubble. 3 wide Gaia Force. My Wish has had a terrific run fourth on the rail. Then came Royal Patronage. Gomon next from Beauty Eternal. Red Lion leads for home. Voyage Bubble's right there on his outside. 2 lengths to Little My Wish, and then came Gaia Force. Voyage Bubble and Red Lion square off for the moment. 2 lengths to My Wish. Then came Galaxy Patch. There's no Mr. Brightside. Red Lion's going the race of his life. Voyage Bubble, My Wish. Red Lion kicking over Voyage Bubble. Sunlight Power screaming home. Red Lion, Voyage Bubble. What a finish.
There's more to play out here after the Champions Mile. It is second verse first. The inquiry signal is up here at SHA Tin. The numbers 10, 2, 13 and 12. The official margin, a short header, but there is an inquiry, second verse first. We'll try and bring you some footage shortly of the head-on when it does become available. But Jenny, a bit more to play out here after a dramatic finish to the Champions Mile.
Oh, it certainly was, and there's a short head in this margin as well. So there is a lot of money up for grabs, that's for sure. And from the side-on view, I've got to say, Tom, I couldn't really see anything that went on, but if we get a look at the head-on, we might be able to give you a chance to see what took place there, and if it is in the straight as well.
Did you notice anything there? Obvious, Paul, obviously down here, hard to notice on the limited vision that we have seen. I can only repeat what we've seen is what you've seen at home, and it was hard to tell if there was anything there.
No, exactly right. I mean, the one thing I would say is he did come around the turn sort of on the rail, and then Sunlight Power was on his inside when they were coming sort of down the straight towards the finish. So I don't know if he rolled off or if he rolled off into the runner-up there in Voyage Bubble. But once we see a head-on, we'll probably get a clearer idea.
1:33.21 the winner's time. This is a horse, Jenny, here in Hong Kong that's never won over 1,600 metres.
No, incredible. And look, by our leading trainer as well in John Size, who champion trainer over numerous years here in Hong Kong, does such a great job with these types of horses. He's a bit on the plain side to look at, but he's just trained him to perfection here today, and he flew out of the gate, so he really did make good use of that good gate speed that he's got, because he drew gate 12 and he was up there on the pace the whole way. So I'm interested to watch the head-on of this inquiry, because I couldn't see anything from the outside view of it, but maybe there is something there. We'll have to wait and see.
And we will try and bring you that vision when it does become available. We're standing by for that. Overall, Paul, what did you make of the first stages of the race? Because obviously we thought Royal Patronage was going to be up somewhere near the pace. I thought if he wasn't, Voyage Bubble would somewhere be up there in that sort of firing line. We'll come back to that shortly, in fact, because now we've got the patrol footage, so we'll see what we can see now. Can confirm there's an inquiry and an objection now. So this is definitely going to the steward's room, 10, 2, 13 and 12. From the start, Red Line, Bowman positive out wide of Voyage Bubble going forward. Royal Patronage is there, Jenny, and then they just sort of, I wonder if they just try and restrain him, and you can see he is pulling a bit there too, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is. But keep an eye on these two, because Huey goes in front of Voyage Bubble here, but there's no interference there, so it's certainly not in that position there. And Voyage Bubble just comes towards his outside. You can see My Wish a little bit fired up on the fence there, given a nice ride by Luke from gate number 1. He's still stuck on done very well. He's a good 4-year-old, that's for sure. We'll be seeing more of him. But as they come into the straight here, there has been nothing between these two as far as interference goes at this stage of the race.
See Galaxy patch back towards the end of the field. He's covering some ground. Mr. Brightside's midfield, but he does weaken tamely in the straight, does Mr. Brightside. So here's the crucial stages coming into the home straight now. You can see Red Lion in front of the Voyage Bubble. Gaia Force has done it tough throughout. Royal Patronage right behind them is My Wish, Beauty Eternal over on the inside. So Red Lion at this point is just off the fence. Voyage Bubble's there to his outside. Red Lion's probably a little further off the fence now, and he's just moving out ever so gradually as they make their way down past the 200 metres. So he's probably a good 3 horse widths, I'd say, off the fence at this point. Important to note they haven't come together. Here in the shadows of the post, you can see the hedge line there on the inside. That means they're getting very close to the winning post. The faintest of touches, Jenny. The faintest.
And it was one. It was one, and it was very close to the line. I've got to say, I don't think it would have made much of a difference.
We'll try and bring up another angle of that, Paul. So when you're getting close to the hedge line there, when you can see that hedge line, that's basically the beginning of near the winning post, that hedge line. I'd say that's probably maybe a good 10 metres, 15 metres, possibly max before the winning line. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I agree with Jenny. I thought, it was just that one touch. Well, let's have another look at the 400 here, and you can see it when they do come together. And it'll be quite good to see another angle to see how far away it was from the winning post.
So when they get to the green marker there on the fence, you can see that's at the 200 metres. So they're inside the 200 metres. The next mark is an orange marker. That's the 100. So they're inside the 100 now. The winning post is coming up. One little brush before the winning post.
It's just normal race riding, really. There was hardly anything in that, I believe, anyway. I could be wrong. It's up for the stewards to sort it out. There's no doubt about that. Obviously, they've put in an inquiry, and now James McDonald has also lodged an objection as well. So they'll be in there. They'll be trying to sort this out. I just didn't think, personally, there was enough in that.
Yeah, you can see Galaxy Patch making ground. Sunlight Power, Paul, he has run the race of his life today.
He has, hasn't he? And as has Red Lion, to be fair. I mean, as we were saying before, he hasn't won over 16, but did run second in this race last year. Drew wide, and look, when Royal Patronage didn't want to take up the lead, Hugh Bowman said, thanks very much, I'll do it. And that's why he's gone across, and that's probably how he's got his head in front.
Is there? I'm not barracking for anyone, but I'm saying, is there a case that James can make that Red Lions come further off the fence than where he was in the early part of the straight? Can they make that case?
Well, he can make that case. They didn't come into contact during that, so he was sort of happy to veer off with him. But
and the other crucial thing is, did McDonald stop riding?
I don't think he did
he?
Did.
No.
We might take one more look at it, but I don't think he did. But the only other thing is, the horse Voyage Bubble is in front after the post, so he was coming. So maybe they'll go with that angle. But I mean, it's up to the boys to sort that out.
So we're in a state of a holding pattern here at Sharton following the Champions Mile, with it being second versus first. 10, 2, 13 and 12. Second versus first when it comes to the Champions Mile. We'll see if we can get our team in the control room to bring that head-on footage up again, just so we can have a glance at that again, Paul. As I mentioned to Jenny, have they got any grounds, not only just on that little bump, as we see the saddle going on Voyage Bubble. That's standard practice, so don't read anything into that to this point. They'll both walk around with a saddle, and when you see a saddle coming off a particular runner, that means we are close to a result. So Paul, can they make any grounds on that Red Line sort of dictated the line in that sort of middle part of the straight where he's come further off the fence?
I'm sure James McDonald will be using all his courtroom skills there. He'll be looking at everything. I've got no doubt whatsoever.
Yeah, so fascinating end to here. You can see
break his stride, did he? That's the thing.
10's being led away here.
Oh wow.
So.
Oh, but this will be presented out on the grass.
Ah, yes, of course.
So.
Of course. So we'll Won't read anything into that just yet. The inquiry and objection sign is still up here at SHA. So a fascinating end to the second of our Group 1 races here this afternoon. I mentioned to you off air, Jenny, I wonder if all said and done, once the wash-up of this has gone through, if Ricky Yu has any regrets running the mile instead of the 2,000 metre race after the way Bubble was finished off today.
Well, look, he was very strong on the line there, wasn't he? So, that will probably come into calculation as far as, the protest goes as well. Look, you'd have to ask Ricky, wouldn't you? I was a bit surprised that he wasn't in the 2,000 as opposed to the 1,600, but he's still run a fantastic race today.
Listening to Ricky Yu, who'd been interviewed during the week, Paul, it definitely still sounded like leading into today, all going well following today, that the Triple Crown over the 2,400 metres for him was still potentially well and truly on the radar.
Well, there's decisions to be made, isn't there? I mean, they'll see what happens after this race when he comes out of it, and they'll sort of make a decision, I'm sure, in the cold light of day, whether they're going to have a crack at it or not. But look, as you guys have said, he was strong to the line over a mile.
So the next race, there's probably going to be a delay to the next event on the card, which of course is the FWD QE2 Cup. And let's not forget, the owner of Red Lion has had a big association, Jenny, with the FWD, the Honourable Ronald R. Cooley, and great to see his colours associated with a terrific horse, him and Joanna.
Yes, absolutely, and we wish him all the very best. I believe he hasn't been in the best of health, but yes, he'd be very nervous at the moment. This won't be helping him.
No, it won't. So the QE2 Cup time to go at 4:40, which by my time now it's just after 4:15 local time. So we'll stand by to see if there's going to be a delay to our next event on the program here at SHA with that inquiry in the room. The stewards panel there will be no doubt hearing through that evidence. Mr. Brightside, Paul, in a good enough position, sort of midfield one off there, but found nothing in the straight, so they'd be bitterly disappointed because everything had been going so well leading into today.
It had it uninterrupted. Everything, as you mentioned, was going nicely, but the horse was a little bit disappointing here this afternoon.
Not sure what else we can add at this point to Jenny.
No, we're just waiting for this result, and at this stage, nothing. 1:33.21 they have run, so it's been a good time once again.
Indeed, it certainly was there, into the track record for this 1,600 metres is 1:32.24. Here we are. We're going to bring you the head-on footage once more here to you, and you can see Red Lion on the inside. He's probably a good 2 horsewidths off the rail at this point. Well, probably 3 now, because you can take a line sort of through Beauty Eternal behind him with the Sunlight Power. So he's a good 3 horse off the rail here at this point. They're getting down to the final 100 metres now, and then they get close to the winning post there, and there's a little bit of hip and shoulder there in the concluding stages. But is it enough to overturn a short head margin? I'm not totally sure.
Yeah.
But it is going on.
I was going to ask you, because you've asked me, and I don't think so. So, as I said, it's up to the stewards, but that's just my opinion, and you'd be...
I'm in favour of Red Lion holding it.
Yes.
On the evidence that we've seen.
Okay.
But
we could be wrong.
There is precedence of what was the Casper Founds horse, Paul, earlier on in the season leading into the Derby. Obviously, Winning Gold got the result in the stewards' room.
Yeah, he did. That was the Sky Hut. Was it Sky Hut?
Yes, I think it might have been.
That's right.
Yeah, Sky Hut. That could have gone either way, couldn't it?
And there was a lot of people sort of suggesting that Sky Hut should have held that race, and the stewards went the other way. So it's up to Chief Stipendiary Steward Mark Van Gestel and his team to decide the result here on the Champions Mile here this afternoon at Sharton, whether it stays as they've passed the post, those numbers 10, 2, 13 and 12, or it is upheld. But we're standing by for news to come through on that. So the inquiry and objection ongoing here at Sharton.
The longer it goes on, you always wonder, don't you?
I'd love to be a fly on the wall in there, Jenny.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
To hear what case
really
James
do
McDonald...
need to get the cameras in there, don't we?
Yeah, it'd be fascinating to be able to do that. James McDonald And it looks like the dress rug is going on the 10 here, so it's been overruled.
Oh, there we go.
No change to placings here at Sharton. 10, 2, 13 and 12. A big cheer from the crowd around the parade ring, and it has been overruled. There is no change to placings. Red Lion is the winner of the FWD Champions Mile here at Sharton today at a huge price, upsetting the odds-on favourite Voyage Bubble. 13 has run third. And that, of course, was Sunlight Power. So Ricky, you second and third, with number 12, My Wish, staying on there for a fourth. And let's not forget, Paul, he's run a slashing race this afternoon. He kicked the season off on a rating of 54. He's close in a derby, and now he's fourth in a Group 1 mile. Yeah,
amazing run from him as well, because he did over-race in the early stages of the race, so he didn't get everything to go his way. And what a good run from Sunlight Power and then for third. And we'll give you these dividends as they come up now. 908 and 117, 1050 for the favourite second, 91.50 Sunlight Power for third. Quinella 2 and 10, 478.50. The forecast 10 to beat 2, 2,450. The trio 2, 10 and 13, 4,347. And the test 10, 2 and 13, 49,754. Quinella places on screen there, and they've weighed in race number 7 here, and it's all official, and the second of our Group 1s.
So no change to placings, and it's great to see the Honourable Ronald Arculli here at Sharton this afternoon here with his mile champion, Red Lion, who has shocked Sharton Racecourse here this afternoon with that big price win. As before we heard Jenny from Hugh Bowman saying Hughie wasn't really expecting this afternoon.
No, well, it's a pleasant surprise, isn't it, when you're not expecting it and your horse wins at 90 to 1 in a big race like this. The prize money is enormous, and John Syde's done a fantastic job with this horse. He was given a great ride too. As Hughie said, he wasn't expecting to lead himself, but he jumped so well, he sort of put himself there, and he was able just to sustain that and withhold a protest as well. So not the easiest of wins, but he's got it done.
So the photo about to take place here on the track this afternoon. This is the photo that all the owners want to here in Hong Kong in front of the winning post, and Red Lion is going to get his moment of glory here this afternoon. We'll be standing by to take you down to the presentation. Obviously, we're a little over 16 or 17 minutes away from the next race here this afternoon at Sharton, the FWD QE2 Cup, but we may be in for a slight delay. Nothing official yet, but when we get that news to you, we will bring it to you. It's just on 24 minutes past 4 local time here in Hong Kong, so that race around about 16 or so minutes away. And Hugh Bowman, Jenny, no stranger to big race wins here in Hong Kong.
No, not at all. And you look, let's go back to the protest there. I mean, you've got Hugh Bowman and James McDonald up against each other in the stewards' room. The footage of that would have been awesome to have, wouldn't it? So let's hope we can move things forward and possibly be able to do that in the not too distant future, because to hear what these boys had to say and how they stated their cases would have made it really interesting TV.
Yeah, certainly would have. And the Honourable Ronald Arculli and Joanna Arculli, the successful owners, Paul, and these are some famous colours when it comes to Hong Kong racing, aren't they?
And around the world as well. We've seen Melbourne Cups run second in the Melbourne Cup a couple of times.
Red Cadeau,
yeah, as well. They normally have the red prefix there in their names, and this is no exception here with the Red Lion. A 90 to 1 winner. Tom, I can tell you, looking at the clock here, it says it's 24 minutes to the race, so I presume it's back 10 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds like about right. So we'll get official confirmation on that when it does come to hand. So there is Larry Young, obviously great supporter of course, the Arculli family as well, and a long time owner here in Hong Kong as well, Jenny, with the Express horses, and he's out there supporting his great friends this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, his horse just was narrowly defeated in race 2 or race 3, one of the earlier races. So, yes, he would certainly be supporting the Arcullis there. It's great to see them have a major win here.
Final stages, Hugh Bowman getting the upper hand on the 90-odd to 1 shot here. Hughie pumped about it as well. John Sydes, top of the Trainers' Championship at this point, and with 22 meetings to go, Jenny, he's certainly steaming up the front here after a very slow start at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, look, absolutely, but doing a fantastic job, isn't he, as always? And he's got some nice horses, and he's probably got a few unraced ones there as well.
So the FWD Champions Mile will be standing by to take you down to the presentation in just a few moments here at Sha Tin. The Hong Kong China national anthem, the Chinese national anthem, will be rounding out around Sha Tin Racecourse here this afternoon with the Hong Kong Police Band. And there is John Size, all smiles, off the back of Red Line there. Beauty Eternal, Jenny, wasn't sort of too far away in the wash-up, but he's yet to recapture that form from this race last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he was ridden for a bit of luck, and he was on the inside there and did a good job. There you can see the excitement of Hugh Bowman, very, very happy to get that Group 1 victory there, the Champions Mile. So well done to Hugh. And yes, 13 million, just over 13 million goes to the winner there.
He drew barrier number 12, the son of Bilardo, who was known as F.H. McHugh prior to arriving here in Hong Kong. All of his wins here in Hong Kong have been over the 1,400 metres. Of course, let's not forget he ran a second in this race last year, of course, Red Line, so he's gone one better this year. Last year he was in the market at 29 to 1 when defeated a length and a half to a stablemate there, Beauty Eternal. Hasn't done a great deal since. He did, to his credit, run third, only 3 lengths away from Voyage Bubble, of course, in the Stewards Cup. And now he's a Group 1 winner